Pre-AP, pre-calculus, section 7.1, notes, looking at properties of exponents and solving exponential equations. In this first video, we're just going to focus on the properties of exponents. The fear is that these properties seem easy, because they are easy. But when you try to apply them, they can get difficult quickly. First property, the product property. If you're multiplying two things and they have the same base, you are supposed to write the base one time and then add the exponents. Now that's an unnatural thing to do because it says multiplication, but you're adding the exponents. Just a quick explanation of why. Let's say that we had x to the fourth times x cubed. X to the fourth means x times x times x times x. X cubed means x times x times x. Exponent is a shorthand for us to be able to write the same thing times itself a lot of times. There are 7 x's here, so essentially we are adding the exponents, 4 plus 3 to get 7. Quotient property. If you're dividing two things that have the same base, you can write the base one time and you can subtract the exponents, top minus the bottom. A little explanation, let's say we have x to the fourth over x cubed. X to the fourth is x times itself 4 times. X cubed is x times itself 3 times. Anything divided by itself gives you 1. So all 3 of those x's are canceled on the top and the bottom. We're left with x to the first, which is the same thing as saying 4 minus 3, which is 1. Power of a power property. Here we have a base raised to an exponent, which in turn is raised to an exponent. This property says you can take your exponents and multiply them together. A little example, let's say we have x cubed to the fourth. X cubed means x times x times x. And then if that's raised to the fourth, it means that we're going to have x times x times x 4 times. So how many of those are we going to have? 4 times 3, we're going to have 12 of those, which is the same as saying just 3 times 4. Negative exponent property. If you have a base raised to an exponent and you don't like the sign of that exponent, it could be positive or negative. If you want to change the sign of the exponent, you take the base and you reciprocate it, and then you can change the sign of the exponent. Zero exponent property. A to the 0 is 1. This is true for all values of a except for 0. I think maybe 0 to the 0. Zero divided by, no, not 0 divided by 0. 0 raised to the 0. Yep, I stand corrected. All values of a, even 0. Rational exponent definition. If you have a raised to an exponent, and that exponent is a fraction, you can write this as a root with a base on the inside. The denominator becomes the root, so it's the nth root, and the numerator becomes the exponent for this base. Now, I personally would never write it like this. There's another option, and that is, say, the nth root of a, and then raise it to the m. These are equivalent things. It's the definition of a rational exponent. Property of equality. If you have a base equal to another base, and their exponents are different, then the conclusion that we can make is the exponents have to be the same. So those are the big properties for exponents. You need to study them. They're super important. In the next video, we will check out some examples.